Hello, 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 everyone. Mike Arnold here, co-founder, Pat Trading Partners, along with Bob Iacchino. By the way, if you're new here, please do consider subscribing, ringing that bell, and hitting the like button. How is everybody doing? Happy non-farm payrolls Friday. Good morning, Kalani. Good morning, Amit. You love this morning. Thanks for the feedback. Good morning, Sashi. I can't talk yet. Safe trading. Glad you can join for Pure Exposure. Thank you for subscribing, everybody who did subscribe to Pure Exposure. Morning, Michael. Thanks for jumping on again. Mike digging these as well. Great. Thank you. Uh, Happy Friday. Thanks, Josh. Christoph, good morning. Okay, non-farm payrolls crushed it today. Crushed it, which is this is probably the good news being bad news. I have over here the Fed Watch tool. You can see here it was up even higher a bit ago, but the odds of a double rate hike, a 50 basis point rate hike. Yesterday were 14.3. This morning 21.1. This was up like 23% a bit ago. So again, now with the strong numbers, it's being expected that the Fed could possibly do a double hike or a 50 basis point hike. There's just the one little minor glitch was the unemployment rate ticking up from 3.9 to 4, but non-farm employment 467 versus I think really expect was about 125 estimated. Let's see what else. Let me look. Wages are back up. Hourly earnings up 5.7 year over year. Labor force participation rate, this was big, up 62.2 versus 61.9. So let's see. And then they revised December, got revised massively higher from 199K to 510K. So there is no excuse with the labor market at this point for the Fed not continuing their hikes and possibly getting more aggressive. So let's see. Let's take a look at some of these markets right now. S&P, that's what we're looking at. That this set down. We had the gap up yesterday. We had this crazy stuff with Amazon fully reversing that. We'll take peeking at a couple of these stocks too. So let me know in chat if you want me to look at something. I'm going to keep this shorter because I got to still prep for the open. But the S&P 500 on a daily basis retesting that 200 right now. Really pay attention to that 200 on your charts this morning. Just around 44.38, 44.40. You can see here on the shorter term charts. By the way, this was great with the European session. We got this mini double, and this is valid with this one bar reversal. You can see we got the close below, double top, hitting all the targets on that. Just wanted to leave that on for this morning. Coming back down, hitting the next harmonic level and the 37.5% retracement harmonics and pausing right here. So at this point, just keep in mind, I'll get to some of the questions and comments in a bit. I just want to run through some of this. Right now, 44.72 area is key resistance on the 1 hour, even on a little bounce. 4 hour shifting back into bearish mode. I'm still going to watch for follow through and lower prices. This was not positive with the Amazon beat and all those pop-ups after hours, and it just wiped out. But let's look in on the NASDAQ, and the NASDAQ even below yesterday's lows. So even bigger reversal on the NASDAQ could not sustain any of the pop. Also double top on the NASDAQ. You can see hitting all the targets and pausing and then moving back down. Really nice pause area right there before the continued run down. Let's take a look at that NASDAQ daily. NASDAQ daily, we have 14,355 as a harmonic, and then we have a harmonic cluster about 14,250 to about 14,283 area. Keep in mind the 62.5 is down at this 14,294. 14,288. So I'll be watching for a potential close below that today. If we get a close below that, I'm watching for a retest of the low area. All right, a Dow also rolling over, sitting right at a key level right now. There was no good double top on the Dow. Here were the harmonics, though. You can see pausing right there, a little spike down, and now reversing. But key resistance is about 34,950. Even if we rally up, if we push down again, I'm watching about 34,635. I'm assuming this is a pausing bar. Below that, I'm watching about 34,580, then 34,466. But this is you also have the Dow getting back into bearish mode and coming back down. Going to be interesting to see if the markets dip, if the Dow even comes down, and where it closes the weekend. My key major support is 34,323. Real quick, Russell just continues its march down. Crude again up again, hitting the next harmonic at 91.91, pulling back a bit right now, actually at that harmonic, but above there, 93.27. Higher, so crude just continues its march higher. Let's check the notes, the 10-year notes. We talked about no double ever triggered or even came close to confirming, could not get above the rotation zone on the daily basis, which is why we follow it. I talked about this possibly becoming a triple, definitely becoming a triple now, actually breaking through the lows and still below the lows from earlier this week. Here's your yield. Sorry, I'm going so quick, but I want to get all this in. Your yield right now is sitting at about 190 and a half. I'm expecting that to continue to march higher. Your yield curve, really paying close attention to it. Let's see, what was down? Where was that? The 30s, 20s still here. We got still negative. What else is dropping right now? The 30s, 2s are coming back down. Rotating right down, and the 30-10s also dropping, but still at 30 basis points. I'm going to be really watching to see if that goes to new lows. Let's see. Let's see what else we have. Happy Friday, Benjamin. Thank you for being here. Danielle, hello. You love this before the market. At least I can participate. Glad you can participate. Mike, overall earnings coming in strong, good macro data. Does this fuel the possibility for a larger hike? Yes, it does. They're already pricing in more hikes. I saw something that's now pretty much pricing in over 5. Well, I don't think it's priced in, but it's being anticipated. I don't think that is priced in yet. Yes, Jake, I just covered that. Thank you for putting that in. Yields forming a triple top, which favors a continuation pattern. MSTR. MicroStrategy, I mean, that's just back to lows now. It's a triple bottom. I'm just watching for a continued decline and stuff like MicroStrategy overall. Couldn't even sustain a pop. Let's, by the way, check in at some other things. Remember, we had Amazon. Oops. Boy, I can't type this morning. Amazon, we were all the way over 3,200, back to 3,100. So this is a prior little resistance becoming support. If that continues to sell off again, I was not as bullish as after hours stuff. I still think we are going to fill the gap, though not today, but because we had that one-time thing from the Rivian investment, and if you look at their forward guidance, just not strong. So I think at some point we'll have a gap fill play. Snap, you have a bunch of this stuff. Snap, which bounced up, also sitting now at the key resistance becoming support, top of the rotation zone, but I'm also watching for gap fills in a bunch of these things. Can I analyze Amazon? We can jump back. Let's see, February 2800 puts. If you want to play something closer than that, that could be a little more valuable to get some good delta on that. Again, I can't offer specific trading advice, but I'd be looking closer to, if it starts breaking down, I'd be closer. And if you want to put spread, I'd be watching about the 3100s. 3000s could be an interesting put spread, not even for the gap fill. If you just want a decent, I'd be more closer to at the money though, with if you want to play for put spreads to really get some decent delta with some gamma kicking in quickly. Which stocks are potential good gap fill trades? I think not necessarily today, but I'll be watching for Amazon to break down, and I'm watching for all these sympathy things like we have Snap for the gap. We have pins. We have, oh boy. Let's see. Potential things. I'm just looking at some other stuff I covered. Unity still might be a good gap. Snap might be a good gap. What else really? Let's see. Pins already coming back down from its overnight stuff. We had too much stuff just ramping up. So some of these are going to be aggressive, but I'm watching like things like that already back down decently. Let's take a look at the shorter term chart, like at pins. Here's where it is helpful to look at some of this extended. See, look at this. Already coming back down. There's still like gap. Even if it pops a bit on the open, I'd watch for a gap fill in that. Let's go back through this. See, Snap still's got a bunch because they actually beat earnings, but I still think it's way too high. And I think if the market continues to sell off through the open, we'll get some pressure on that. So gonna watch for some stuff in there. Just watch for these things that have popped. Let's take a look quick at Tesla. I know there's a lot of people who trade there. Trade Tesla, I mean, a little bounce again. This is things all over the place pre-market, but that bounced to sympathy bounce, but now it's rolling over. By the way, 900 again. That can trap a lot of people who are buying this. It can't get above the rotation zones. Again, we could get the gap fill, but I'll watch for a rollover, especially with the weaker market. Thank you, Amit. Thank you. See you in the afternoon recap. Glad that made sense. Russell, let me look at Russell. Here's your IWM. Support on the Russell. I'm watching for like the IWM and everything to come down to the 200. Not today. There's your weekly. That's your 200 weekly. That's my major target on that, the 200 weekly for the next push down, which is about for the IWM about 174. Your minor targets, I just watch for a return to this low area about 191 in the IWM. In the futures, I'd watch for a 1927 area. It's getting a slight bounce now, so I'm really going to have to see how this plays at the open, trying to still get some dip buyers at the open. We're getting a little run up, so I'm going to see if this follows through. Remember, this key support areas have become resistance now. So, again, would not be surprised to see a slight little pop. I'm just looking to fine-tune this area. A slight little pop, about 4,500. And then we'll watch to see if we get that selling. For people who are more advanced, please watch the tick and the TRIN and additional the VIX. All right. Happy Friday, Dave. You are welcome, Christoph. I'm going to wrap it up now and get prepared for the open. Again, thank you for joining. Give me some more feedback in Discord, what you think changes, and if this is beneficial. Talk to everyone later.